My name is Nina. I'm originally from Aarhus, Denmark, and where I lived until I was 25. I studied political science and French at Columbia University in New York, and then I've studied criminology and criminal justice at the University of Oxford in England. So I got the idea of studying criminology through my bachelor's thesis. Throughout my undergraduate degree, I had done a couple of courses in, I guess what you would call pre-law. So I gotten a little bit of like a sense of what it would be to read law, write case briefs, understand it, like specifically the American judicial system, I guess. And legal system. And then my bachelor's thesis sort of like got me interested in specifically criminal law. And I didn't really have a big idea of what I wanted to do with it. I thought about maybe going to law school or do a PhD in law at some point. So I thought, well, this is maybe a stop along the way, and it will allow me to sort of like dive into to law and criminology. I specifically knew a professor at the university who was an expert in the area that I was really interested in. So I sort of like looked her up, read about the department, and read about the application process, about the degree, and then decided to apply. If you're coming from Denmark or somewhere in Europe where the educational system is very linear and much more specialized, specific. So when you apply to undergrad, you apply and do law, and you do usually also law for your postgrad. The US is, I would say, like the polar opposite of that, because you go into your degree not knowing what you're going to study, and the whole point of college is to explore and figure out what it is that you want to do. The UK I kind of see as a happy medium between those two, so there's a bit more flexibility in what you can do, but you are usually still affiliated with a course or a department. For me, I started with my letters of recommendations. I knew that I needed, I think it was 3, and I wanted to give my professors enough time. I think I asked them about a month or a month and a half in advance. I was really lucky to have professors that I worked very closely with for some research, for several courses that I've taken with them. So it was easy to get in touch with them, and they knew me really well. If you don't have professors that know you that well, I would maybe start much earlier, so you have ample time to sort of talk to them about what to write and what to emphasize in your application. Then I started with my personal statement. I made sure to reach out to some people to see how that was structured for the UK, because I was not used to that sort of format. And was lucky to get a couple and get a sense of what I needed to put down for that. Other than that, I had to upload a writing sample, and I think I chose something that was close to the field that I wanted to study. If you don't, it's completely okay to do something else. The important thing is that they can see that you're a good writer, and that you can think independently, so that you can do research. I think that was a main part of the application, because I was exempt from doing any of the standardized tests. If you're doing standardized tests, I would say like start 6 months at least in advance, so you know you have time to study, prepare, take the test, and even like take it again if you need to. I wish I would have spent a little more time, I think, contemplating what universities, what courses I wanted to do. I'm very happy with what I ended up with, but I think I sort of like, I did it a little bit too quickly. It was a fun idea that I got in my head, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply, and I got accepted really quickly. so I just decided not to apply anywhere else. I think looking back at it, always apply multiple places, even if you get into a dream university, because you don't know what's going to open up for you with those other universities. It could be extra scholarships, or maybe you find out something about the department that you didn't know, and that you might have been interested in otherwise. Student life. Get involved both in Denmark and when you decide to go abroad, specifically for your application, and also just personally, like, make sure that you're engaged in the community that you're in.